when you have such a busy schedule, and then to talk about that schedule. You had not sung publicly in this country since 1965 when you performed Tosca.
That is so.
Why did you stop singing?
Well, probably many things. I wasn't happy with my singing. I wasn't happy generally. And I thought that I might take a rest and look back. But I did work in the meantime. I made a film and cleaned out certain things about my life also, and put some order, possibly.
Well, now you've had these concerts, and I saw you myself at Carnegie Hall, which was a thrilling evening. I've read a great many of the reviews. You have been praised almost universally as an actress, but your voice has not been that complimented.
I have not read the reviews, read them, but I don't want to be misunderstood also by that. I don't go against the critics. On the contrary, I have very many friends, but they do their job and I do my own. You see, if they follow the work and then they put me above much, how can I say, higher than what a human being, a human singer is.
You think their expectations are too great?
Their expectations are too great, and they would not have wanted me to come back, probably, or come back as I was 20 years ago. Now, as I first said in the beginning, nobody is as they were 20 years ago. You are not, I am not. But if I don't work on stage, I'll never be getting back into form. So
do you think that you might, do you hope that
I hope
after a
that's
year,
the word.
it may be the way it was, let's say, not 20 years ago, but 8 years ago?
Oh, no, I'm already better than 9 years ago. I'm sorry.
You're better than 9 years
yes.
ago, you feel?
I will never be what I was 20 years ago. Nobody will. Nobody expects me
But you
to
think
be.
you can be better than you were 10 years ago?
Oh,
You
absolutely.
were recording
I am
and singing.
already. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. I was in serious trouble 9 years ago. I was forcing terribly. I was not myself.
At your first concert at Carnegie Hall in New York, you said that you would like to return to the Metropolitan Opera. You said under certain conditions. What
Yes.
conditions? What would it take to get
I
you
must
back?
tell you the truth.
Yeah.
The Metropolitan, like all of the other opera houses, do offer me every year a contract. I would specifically ask for a very fine conductor, lots of rehearsals, not much on stage, but respectfully what the composer has desired in his score, and the proper colleagues, and the proper atmosphere. You understand? You can't work alone. You have to work like you have all your men, the cameraman and all that, and you can't work alone.
By symphony.
Symphony. That's the same thing with us.
Do you think that you
Not
could...
all artists think this, by the way. My other colleagues do not. They just don't care. As long as they put their costume on, they sing the way they want, they take their money. And not all. I'm speaking generally and philosophically. Philosophically, not so much, but generally speaking, all they're interested in is getting their money, putting their costume, singing as best as they can, and then go. But that's not my idea of making music. That's
But you don't think you're asking for too much? Is that what you're asking for?
I am not asking for too much. I'm asking what they should do out of respect to the composer.
Otherwise, you will not sing it.
Otherwise, I will not have any part of that.
Do you think that if you went back to an opera company, that you could carry a whole role now, like Medea or Tosca?
That's why I'm using these concerts as a builder. But also, may I remind you that opera is much easier than a concert.
A great many people who have heard of you, never met you, are seeing you now for the first time. And it's an opportunity for us to clear up some legends, some misconceptions, as we have been about the Metropolitan. I said earlier that Maria Callas is a legend, and sometimes one's a little afraid of a legend. I'm just going to plunge.
I'm afraid of that kind of word, too.
What do you think have been the greatest misconceptions about you, or the greatest falsehoods that are being told about you or have been?
Well, for instance, my being called temperamental is wrong. I have a temperament. I know what I want. I don't like people to be commanding me, telling me what I should do when I know when I know my job. I know what I should do. I don't have to be told. I don't like people to command me. I think that you can say the same thing in another manner. Kindly, sweetly, suggesting a thing, or please would you do that? And I think we're running out of that habit, which is very bad. That's when I get sort of, cold, but I never answer back, or if I do, unfortunately, I say 2 words, but are very dry, and they don't like that. They have said I've been born in Brooklyn, I'm born in Manhattan. They've said I've treated my mother very badly, and that is not true. I have not been able, and I never will, I would be able, but I do not want to readjust myself, or how do you say it, defend myself towards my mother, because mother, for me, any mother to me, is put on a pedestal. Sometimes newspapers have written things about me, generally also about my mother, that I have never said.
Tell us about your childhood. When did you first know that you could sing? And then what does it do to a little girl when she has this gift?
Well, I can try and be brief about that. Generally, I don't think much of my talent. I didn't even think I had a voice. My mother always thought, and probably they had good reason, my father and my mother, I don't know, they always said I used to sing. I always used to sing for pleasure. I never even dreamed of having to have a career as a singer. I don't think I would have chosen that even. I might have chosen being a musician, another, well, either pianist probably, or an actress. Actress probably would have been my best choice. But since I was a child, it was the Shirley Temple and Deanna Durbin, I said that before, and parents can be very ambitious. Not my father, my mother. And she came from a very good family, so she probably would have wanted me to be what she would have wanted to be. I don't know what she would have wanted to be, because celebrity is not something that is very easy to cope with. It's a hard life, and it's a life of sacrifices.
So she pushed you as a child?
She pushed me. She put it into my mind, and at a certain point when I was 13 years old, and I had to go into the conservatory in Greece, and they wouldn't take me because I was too young. I was 13, but I was a very tall-looking girl, just like now, just as tall as I was now. And we lied about my age, and we said I was 17, and they took me. They said so many stories about me.
Can I try and help, and you can answer what you want?
Yes, please.
It has been said Maria Callas gave up singing for Aristotle Onassis.
Well, I could not. I could do that without answering that, but I think it's an honest question. I thought that when I met a man I loved, that I didn't need to sing, because I think that a woman, the most important thing in a woman is to have a man of her own and to make him happy. Because I don't think that singing is a woman's job.
You gave up your career then?
I didn't give up. I kept on singing. But you see, in our kind of work, we have to keep on and on. You just cannot sing once or twice a year. Then you lose your muscles. Then you lose the training, the habits, the reflexes. So naturally, any man who is in love with you, the way he was, I'm sure he was, did not want me to sing. But I had to sing, as we both, or I would not make up my mind about marriage, because I also had a husband, remember, who was making a lot of trouble. And once you get married and divorced, you're very, very, at least I'm very frightened of getting married a second time. I don't think I ever will.
Really?
I don't like using the word never, because you never know.
You're not sorry you didn't?
Did not get married?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, no, I'm not sorry at all.
Mm.
I think love is so much better when you're not married.
But then people say now, and you're being very honest today. No, I think it's important that you are. But then people say, Maria Callas is broken-hearted. She gave up this beautiful career. She didn't marry him. She married somebody else.
Why should I marry? Give me one good reason why I should marry.
Security, to have the man you love
security I have.
To have him always.
I would not like a man to have him always.
To not lose him to somebody else?
I would take that in the stride, because here, a man has every right, like a woman has every right, to be able to fall in love with somebody else. There are no chains for love.
Are you friends with Mr. Onassis?
Very good friends.
You know the rumors, of course, too, that you were not friends with Mrs. Onassis.
I've never met her. We're not friends. I've just never met her.
Do you have no bad feelings?
Not at all. Not at all. Why should I? Of course, if she treats Mr. Onassis very badly, I might be very angry also, because I would do that to any friend, especially to a very dear friend, nearly a husband, as Onassis was to me.
But you've never said to yourself, oh, if I'd only married, if 5 years ago I had married him, this and this and that.
But I left him of my own accord. We both agreed to that, because we loved each other maybe too much. And men, strong men or weak men, whoever, I'm not talking about him generally, they usually want to completely domineer a woman, dominate them. And I want to be dominated of my own accord.
But no regrets?
No regrets. Oh, no. Otherwise I would have married him. I had every occasion. But I don't believe in marriage.
You recently said in a newspaper interview, I believe I must be just a little American kid at the back of my mind because I wanted someone Prince Charming to come in and take me away.
Very true.
Do you think he ever will?
Up to now he hasn't. Or rather he has. About the man I'm talking, of course, it was only the second man and probably the only one, the non-husband, Mr. Onassis. And you see, you hope a lot. Maybe it's my fault. I put a man on a pedestal. And I hoped a lot, and I probably was disappointed, and probably it was my fault.
Do you still hope?
Hope in what?
Do you still hope
Fine.
Prince Charming will come?
Well, it won't be Prince Charming at our age. At my age, I don't expect a Prince Charming, but I expect a mature man who will accept me as I am.
Would you give up singing then?
Oh, naturally.
You would?
Well, at this age, yes.
Just one, while we're talking about the past, have you deliberately not wanted to meet Mrs. Onassis?
Oh, no.
And Mr.
No.
Onassis has never wanted to introduce you as two women he cares so about?
Frankly, I had invited her once to, because when I invite Mr. Onassis to a party or a gala like the Medea film or an opera, when they invite him, they must invite his wife. And many friends of mine then had said, well, we will not invite her. I said, well, you will, I'm sorry, because she is his wife and you must. And we talked about that with Mr. Onassis, and she did not want to come. So you see, therefore, there's no problem. But it is not, I hold no grudges. Mm-hmm. I don't think it's necessary, and then it's too tiring. And I don't think that in the long run it helps in life. Neither does it help you to look well or live well with yourself. Now, when I live with myself, I have to be 100% honest with myself and be happy with myself. And I have integrity, which is a very expensive, using Onassis' words, it's a very expensive price to pay for integrity and honesty. But I can pay that price.
Thank you, Madam Callas, for the honesty and the integrity that you've shown us in this interview.
Thank you. Thank you for asking these questions. I couldn't be otherwise. But it was a pleasure.